Okay, so let's just jump right in. We're cracking open this ancient text, Hosea, and landing right in the middle of some serious drama. Imagine a prophet being told to sound an alarm because a promise, a foundational agreement, has been completely shattered. So the big question we're digging into today is this: what happens when the very thing that holds a nation's identity together just breaks?
Now, when you and I hear the word eagle, we probably think of something, majestic, powerful, maybe even patriotic. But that's not what's going on here. In the ancient world, an eagle was often a bird of prey. It was a symbol of a massive, hostile army about to descend. So this opening line, it's not a celebration. It's a terrifying warning shot. So why is this eagle, this symbol of impending doom, circling overhead? Well, the text doesn't make us guess for long. It points to one single catastrophic failure right at the heart of the nation's entire relationship with God.
And there it is, plain as day. They have broken my covenant. To really get the weight of this crisis, we have to understand what that covenant even was. I mean, it's a word that gets thrown around a lot, but what did it actually mean for them?
Okay, this is really the core of the whole issue. The word covenant can sound super formal and legal, right? Like a stuffy contract full of rules. But according to our guide on this, Dr. John Oswalt, its purpose was way deeper and much more about relationship.
Yeah, so a much better way to think about it is less like a contract and more like a framework for a relationship. It was meant to outline a way of life that flowed from a connection that was already there. It was never just about the rules. It was about the relationship behind the rules.
And this breakdown is super helpful. The covenant basically had three jobs. First, it was like a mirror, reflecting God's own character. Second, it was also a mirror for the people, showing them the kind of character, selfless, just, compassionate, that God wanted for them. And third, and this is the kicker, it revealed the gap between those two things. It was a diagnostic tool, showing that people just couldn't live up to that standard on their own.
And that leads us to probably the single most important concept in this whole explainer. Dr. Oswalt makes this simple but game-changing distinction that, honestly, it reframes everything that comes next.
This is the difference. So many people see the covenant as the way to God, like a checklist. You do these things, you follow these rules, and then you earn your way to salvation. But the argument here is that it was always meant to be the walk with God. It was a guide for how to live in relationship with the God who had already saved them. Just think about it. God rescued Israel from slavery in Egypt out of pure grace before they ever got the Ten Commandments. Salvation was the starting line, not the finish line.
Let's just pause on that for a second. Not the way to God, it is the walk with God. I mean, that perfectly captures the shift from a transactional, I do this for you, you do that for me kind of religion, to a real, living relationship. And when Israel broke the covenant, they weren't just breaking a few rules, they were literally walking away from the walk.
So now that we get what this walk with God was supposed to look like, Hosea basically drops the receipts. He gives this detailed list, almost like a prosecutor laying out the evidence of exactly how Israel abandoned that walk.
You can see the pattern here, right? They set up their own kings, which just led to chaos and a bunch of assassinations. They took their own money, their silver and gold, and literally made their own gods, like that golden calf. They started trusting in military deals with other countries for security instead of trusting God. And maybe the sneakiest one, they turned religion into an empty ritual, building more and more altars, but only for sinning, where they just went through the motions without any real heart change.
Every single one of those things, though, they're really just symptoms. They all point back to one single foundational failure. It's the root problem that caused the whole covenant relationship to collapse. Israel has forgotten his maker. And what did they do instead of remembering? They built palaces. They fortified towns. In other words, they totally replaced their trust in God with trust in stuff they could build themselves. Their economy, their military, their own political power. They forgot the source of their life and security and started relying on their own creations instead. And that really brings the whole thing into focus. The crisis in the book of Hosea, this whole idea of a broken covenant, it all boils down to this one question. Where do we find our real security? Is it in God, our maker, or is it in the systems, the money, and the power that we create for ourselves? So we end up right back where we started with this powerful idea. The tragedy in Hosea chapter 8 wasn't really about breaking a list of ancient rules. It was about abandoning a relationship. It was about trading that walk with God for things they could make with their own two hands. And it leaves them and us with a pretty deep question that still hits home today. What or who have we really made our source of security?